Hello, Pioneer Nation, and welcome to the very first SHU Sports Report of the 2016-17 season. I'm Diana Canizaro, and alongside with me is the wonderful Cara Levine. Cara, the Pioneers really kicked off the football season right this weekend with a win down in Florida at Stenson.
That's right, Diana. The SHU came up big in the fourth quarter. Down 2, OC Empiara scored on an 80-yard touchdown run on the first play of the quarter to give the Pioneers their first lead of the game, 18-14. And there it was, the defense's turn to hold the Hatters for the remainder of the game. And that they did, forcing a few 3-and-outs and a big sack by Kevin Berry. With just 2 minutes on the clock, that forced Stenson quarterback Gavin DeFlippio to fumble. Not only did the senior lineman force the fumble, he recovered it, also putting the ball back in the hands of the SHU offense for the remaining minutes. When the weekly Northeast Conference Awards came out on Monday, Sacred Heart got some love on both sides of the ball. Senior Kevin Berry had a career-high 13 tackles and 3 tackles for a loss on Saturday to earn NEC Defensive Player of the Week. His classmate and fellow team captain, OC Empiara, took home the NEC Offensive Player of the Week award after posting the second 100-yard rushing game of his career on Saturday. The senior running back carried the ball 13 times for 112 yards and the eventual game-winning touchdown. The football team wasn't the only SHU team that picked up this win this weekend. Diana, I hear the women's volleyball team had it played great on Friday night.
That they sure did, but first let's go back to the previous week for the Maryland Invite. The Pioneers swept Delaware State to open the 2016 season on Friday, August 26th. Sarah Krufka led the team with 15 kills and 17.5 points, as Anna Gonzalez led with 15 digs. SHU shut out the Hornets, winning the first set by 9 points and the second by just 2 before ending strong with a 25-15 win in the final set to take home the victory. That Saturday, the women had a doubleheader, first against Eastern Michigan, then Maryland. Eastern Michigan put up a battle and took the first 2 sets, but Sacred Heart fought back with the win in the third set with a total of 16 kills and minimal errors to give them a 6-point win. But the Pioneers couldn't carry that momentum into the next set as they came up shy, dropping the match 3-1. In the final matchup against the Terrapins, the Pioneers suffered a straight set loss to close out the Maryland Invite. Allison Riggs and Krufka led with 8 kills, while Julia Morowinski had 5 blocks, but it wasn't enough to overcome Maryland's strong offense. The team then came home this past weekend for the SHU Hampton in Shelton Invitational. Despite a slow start in the first set of Friday's home opener, SHU got fired up with a clean sweep of George Mason. LaSalle Nels led the team with 14 kills and accounted for 16 of SHU's 57 points earned. But it wasn't just Nels. Michaela Dole added to the victory with 12 kills, hitting 333, and Kiki Robinson added 23 assists and 8 digs for the Pios. For the final 2 matches of SHU's annual tournament, the Pioneers took on Milwaukee and Dartmouth on Saturday. SHU started off the right foot, winning the first 2 sets against Milwaukee, but the Panthers came back determined to conquer and won the next 3 sets to take the win 3-2. The final match was a hard-fought one. SHU hosted Dartmouth College, where Michaela Dole led the team with 14 kills, followed by Krufka, who had 13. With the Pioneers falling just short in each set, Dartmouth closed out the weekend for SHU winning 3-0. The Pioneers will move on to Fairfield's Invitational this weekend, where they'll take on the crosstown rival Friday night. Now let's send you over to the update corner, where Katie has a ton of women's soccer action to catch us up on.
Boy, are you right, Diana. While this is our first broadcast and Sacred Heart students are only in their second week of classes, our women's soccer team has already played 6 games in their 2016 schedule. The Pioneers kicked off this year on a high note with a 2-1 win over Canisius. A Canisius own goal put SHU on the board in the first half. In the 46th minute, Shauna Adams evened the score at 1, but Sacred Heart would get the final tally with rookie Olivia Crema netting her first career goal in the 73rd minute. The Pioneers followed up the victory with a 1-1 tie at Stony Brook before getting blanked by Fairfield and Yale. SHU went 0-1-1 this past weekend at the VCU Invitational. Tough defense from both teams saw Friday's game against the Rams end in a double overtime draw. On Saturday, Richmond took a 2-0 lead in the first half, but Melanie De Silva struck early in the second, putting SHU on the board in the 47th minute. That will be all the Sacred Heart offense could muster, however, as the Pioneers went on to fall 3-1. Sacred Heart resumes play this Friday at St. Peter's before coming home on Sunday to host Columbia at noon on Campus Field. The SHU men's cross-country team opened their season with a win at the Father Bede Invitational last weekend. Graduate student Connor Raj won the race in a time of 16:03 for his first collegiate victory, while 2 other Pioneers finished in the top 10. Sacred Heart won the meet with 33 points, beating out the hosting Red Flash by just 1 point. She was back in action at the UMass Minutemen Invitational this Saturday. The women's rugby team opened its season on Saturday on Campus Field when Malloy came to town. The Lions got an early start, scoring 12 points in the first half. The Pioneers would score their first and only try of the half as Margaret Woods crossed into the try zone at the 10:46 mark. Malloy owned a 19-5 lead at the half and expanded it just a couple minutes into the second. But SHU answered with back-to-back tries and a successful conversion kick, bringing the score within reach at 24-17. The Lions eventually increased their lead to 21 points to take the season opener 45-22. SHU men's golf started off the fall with a 10th place finish at the Turning Stone Tiger Intercollegiate. Sacred Heart finished with a team score of +52 for the 3-round event. The Pioneers shot the best round of the weekend on Sunday when they finished 15 over par. Junior Matt Shubley was the top individual finisher for the Pioneers this weekend, tying for 6th with a score of -1. Sacred Heart is back on the course this weekend on Saturday at the Ryan T. Lee Memorial Collegiate at Hot Meadow Country Club. The Sacred Heart field hockey team has had a rough start to the 2016 season and head into their second home game of the year this Friday, 0-4, after suffering losses to Providence, Maine, Lock Haven, and Yale. That's all I have for now. Diana will send it back to you.
Thanks, Katie. We'll have some more on field hockey in just a little bit when Kara talks to the brand new head coach, Cindy Vandermovie. But while Kara and Coach catch up a bit, let's check in on the men's soccer team and what they've been up to. Last week, the men's soccer team traveled to New Rochelle, New York for their season opener against Iona. The Pioneers were able to take advantage of some good scoring opportunities to win 2-1. Shaquille Sanchez scored the first goal for the Pioneers, and then Oscar Curris hit the game winner. Goalkeeper Robert Strain had a phenomenal game with 7 big saves to give SHU the victory. Moving on to the Peter Baldwin Memorial Classic on Friday in Burlington, Vermont, where Sacred Heart took on the Catamounts. Vermont played some tough defense, only allowing SHU 3 shots throughout the game. At the half, the Catamounts led 2-0, and the Pioneers couldn't seem to get anything going as Vermont fired another goal in the latter half to win 3-0. On Sunday, Sacred Heart had their final game of the tournament against Bucknell, which started off slow for the Pioneers with only 1 shot in the first half compared to Bucknell's 11. Tied up at 1 at the half, Bucknell hit a penalty shot to give them the 2-1 win over the Pioneers. The men's soccer team will move on to New Haven to take on Yale this Saturday at 7 o'clock. Well, as promised, we have more on SHU field hockey now with Kara and head coach Cindy Vandermovie in the Coach's Corner. Kara?
Thanks, Diana. Here we have Coach Sydney from the SHU women's field hockey team. Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
So, welcome to Sacred Heart first off. Can you give us like a 30-second just snapshot of your coaching career and how you got to Sacred Heart?
I've coached since I lived in South Africa. I've been lucky enough to live and coach in South Africa, Australia, Wales, and then now in America. I was in Springfield, Missouri, and this position came open here in Springfield, Sacred Heart, and I moved up here a couple weeks ago.
Great, great. So you joined right in the beginning of the season. So what have you learned just from these past few weeks?
It's been a slow progress. You know, we've told the team to take this step by step. We're building towards the future. So, you know, what I've seen so far of the girls, they've really been impressive and working hard at it. Each day of practice, we push ourselves, we push them to work harder, better and better. And obviously, we're working towards the conference to make the conference play this year.
Great, great. So obviously, you want to build the SHU field hockey team according to your image and your style. So what's your main focus right now of how you want to come about that?
Well, you know, it's a different culture here. So, you know, for me, it's just to build up as to start with the skills. You know, start simple, work on the skills, and work from that. Fitness is also very key. You know, I want the team to be the fittest team in the conference. So we're working towards our goals of that to be the fittest team in the conference, as well as, I want them to be successful both off the field and on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, we were to work towards the conference games. We got still non-conference games to play. So, we're learning from the mistakes we've made, and then we have to fix those mistakes, work towards the conference games.
Great. So you've been involved with field hockey all your life, around the world, like you said, Australia. What made you fall in love with the sport?
Well, in South Africa, guys play hockey as well. So, in the winter, it was hockey, field hockey or rugby. So I was a little bit too small to play rugby. So, the next sport was to play hockey. So I started playing hockey at high school. I started before high school. I started playing in primary school. I was actually before primary school, sorry. Back, preschool, like I was 3-4 years old playing hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been playing all my life. And then when I finished school, I was like, hey, what should I do? So I felt like going to coaching.
Yeah.
So I was coaching cricket as well as hockey. And then when I went to Australia, because I moved there to Australia, I was like, hey, let's keep on coaching. So I just fell in love with coaching and just haven't stopped.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, Coach, for being here. Good luck with the rest of your season. That's all we have for our first week of the SHU Sports Report. For Diana Cannizzaro, Katie Sullivan, and everyone back in the control room, I'm Carol Levine, and we'll see you next week.